And I'm going to start with a short disclaimer that I am the voice of many people here, many people who have contributed in a variety of ways to learning and developing their mentoring outside of this project. So we bring a long history from YBI, but then within the project too, and people have worked incredibly hard to learn in just the way you've been describing, to really understand what works and what doesn't, to be creative and to be responsive to things that keep changing. So I'm Jo Gray, and I'm representing an organisation called Youth Business International, and we are part of the YES consortium, and we are a knowledge partner. I'm not going to kind of break down the structure of the consortium, but I will kick off with the information about mentoring, and my colleagues, Barbara Scheck from the Munich Business School will be stepping in, and Guillaume, who runs the organisation everyone's been talking about, Autopassio. But there are many of us behind the scenes that are also part of making this success that I will try to share something about. So if we could move on to the next slide. I'm going to share kind of our understanding, and I know many people will, in different areas of the work they do or the lives they lead, will have come across mentoring. We talk about it in a very specific way, and we believe that's for a very specific reason, because that's what works. It is a very much a developmental approach to mentoring, and these are some of the features that I think demonstrates what that is and are part of the reason it's successful. So we do see it very much as a two-way relationship. It needs to be a balance of learning between both mentor and mentee. We will regularly see mentors coming out with as much learning, and we need our mentors to be smart and helpful, because we want them to come back and mentor more people, and we want them to feel a part of making a difference as well. So really important that they see this as a valued opportunity as well. What makes that a success? It was really at the heart of it all is the quality of the relationship that those two individuals establish. A long history of research and mentoring will evidence that. It's the quality of the relationships that delivers the results, i.e. those people achieving the goals that they establish that they want to work on. And that quality comes out of, as kind of pointed out there, that you need to build trust. You need to feel like it's a safe place to talk, particularly with young people, and to allow them that space to connect and to be open and to create that kind of commitment to achieving things together. And that's a critical part of the foundations that all these programs will help those relationships to work on at the very outset. As Alex very wisely said at the start there, you know, volunteering is the king. And I'm not surprised to know that Autopassio won shockingly second, should have been first, I'm certain, award for that volunteer program, because this is what also makes the kind of the mentoring we've all been working on very unique. A lot of people, you know, if I hear anyone talk about that they've paid people to mentor, to me, that's not mentoring. Mentoring is really at the core, I think, of people's humanity and wanting to change things. And as Nora quite rightly pointed out, you know, how do we have these strands of learning that we take across so that we are building on everything and building on kind of people's innate goodness to contribute back, I think is a key factor, and supporting those volunteers and making them feel part of something. You really create this community feel of people trying to be part of, you know, changing the world and changing young people's lives. We know that mentoring works best at a transition point, which is why it is so useful in the world of entrepreneurship, because people are at that start, sustain, grow, and there are lots of hard decision points where I think having a mentor has been well evidenced to be critical. And then equally for those young people who are looking for employment, that transition from school, from unemployment to employment. You know, there's so many hard decisions that as a young person, even as a slightly older and wiser one, it's still hard to make. But as a young person with limited networks or support, or where life maybe is more challenging, we support a lot of kind of identified vulnerable groups as well. To have somebody with a little bit more life experience and wisdom to share and talk through those ideas is absolutely, you know, it's a real differentiator, I think. And that kind of links to the next point, that it is about building external resource and, you know, growing those networks. Again, in the world we work in with a lot to do with entrepreneurship. It's so critical and to have these kinds of networks to be able to sustain and grow a business. And as a young person, you know, it's a long road to build those kind of connections and networks, and to have somebody help you think that through, potentially signpost things, and really establish kind of a solid network of people invested in what you want to do, I think is critical as well. And again, as already kind of called out, the type of mentoring we're seeing and we know works is longer term. If we're talking about it's based in the quality of the relationship, that you have to establish trust, you need people at decision points, you know, that doesn't happen in 3 months generally. It's always better the more time people have to give to that. Now, we all know that in crisis, and we've seen a lot of that in the past few years, sometimes you have to step in and move fast, in which case we did simply that as well. And we had to change a lot of things to make sure people had a quick and responsive answer to support people who were facing hugely difficult challenges at a moment when, you know, the world shut down on us all. So there's always room to kind of be different, and we feel we've been really responsive in doing that. So this is our understanding of, you know, what makes mentoring work. And we have a few more examples into that if we move ahead. What really makes it successful? I'm seeing some faces on the screen here across people who've dialed in and people I know. It needs at the core of a great mentoring program is having that program coordinator, that mentoring manager who makes all the difference. They know everything that's happening. They have their finger on the pulse, is a very maybe UK term, but they just know what's going on. And they are the ambassadors for that program. They are deep in the depths of it and making it good, fixing things that aren't working with those involved, and generally ensuring it's a fantastic experience, well beyond the individual relationship, but the community that they establish to make that work. Because I think one of the brilliant outputs of lots of mentoring that we're seeing is that people do more than just volunteer to that mentoring. And we all know it, you know, it really is that community that starts to make a difference. And it is those program managers at the heart of these programs that really drive that to happen. What's critical, you know, how do we help particularly young people to get the most out of a mentoring relationship? You really have to invest in preparing both parties at the outset to understand how it works, what it is, what it isn't, and some really simple things, I think, and then some more complicated maybe skills that as a mentor you might want to learn or develop in order to be kind of the best support as possible to your mentee. I think as professionals, and as has been quoted already, there are a lot of, that's who we seek to be our mentors, professionals with business and life experience. Anyone in a professional sense is used to solving problems in their job, and mentoring isn't about solving people's problems, it's about helping people to think better, and that's a little bit of a mindset shift for people who are used to you know, wading in, coming up with solutions and helping people fix things. Generally, people don't need things fixed, they need to think better, and they need different ideas, and they need to be challenged, and they need networks opened and all different kinds of things. So it's really preparing people well makes all the difference in the long term to, I think, the success of those relationships and the quality that's established. One of the key things I think that we've learned, particularly through SOS, that was quoted, our SOS mentoring, is also that it's essential to support mentors. And that sometimes is confusing because they are not the kind of the end goal of people that we're trying to impact and make a difference for, but they are our volunteers that do that work for us. And the more skilled they are, the more supported they are, the more invested and recognized they are for what they do, then the more value they deliver and involved in your program. So it's an essential kind of, it's kind of the scaling part of it. If you have a fabulous pool of mentors, it's taking the pressure off you in running that program, because you have some great people who often will then step beyond just the simple mentor role and maybe will help you with delivery of some of the other program elements. And I guess the final bit we kind of call out there is this community sense. It is more than just putting some people together to have mentoring relationships. It's creating a whole community of mentors, a whole program that feels that there is an end-to-end thing that you're a part of and that you can join in on. And there are lots of different touch points beyond just the kind of one-to-one conversations you have in those relationships. I have to say personally that I have been involved in mentoring for a long time. It is a passion to come and talk about it here with all of you. It is the one thing I think that is the thread through lots of success. And of course, and deep evaluation is critical in all of these things. It's always hard to identify, what is the thing that of the many interventions and support we offer to young people, what is the thing that makes a difference? This always feels like the thing that just is, it's the gold dust on everything, I think, that helps people develop. I've heard plenty through the years, young people reporting that actually a mentor was of more value than the financial investment made into the business, because it just is, it just is something else to have somebody stand by your side and be that support and invest their time in you. And it's quite it's the thing that makes a difference from my perspective. So that's all I wanted to share at this point around mentoring. I know we're doing some Q&A at the end, so I haven't looked at the chat box if people are saying things now, but I'm going to hand over to my colleague, and I think Guillaume and Jorg are going to share a little bit more about how it really works. Oh, hold on, I've got that wrong. We're going to show the video.
Exactly, yeah. That's what I was saying to you.
It's the video, and I want to say quickly that the video, if that was complicated, here's one we made earlier, a fantastic video that pretty much summarizes the brilliance of mentoring, and it's a video I've played many, many times in many contexts, so I'll stay silent.
So, you've just started up a new business, but it's not going as successful as you'd expected. Time goes by and the figures don't balance. What you need is a mentor. Yeah! A mentor will help you to reconsider, to rethink, to work it out again, to review that marketing plan that seemed to be so infallible to you. They help you to get organised, careful, optimise your time and to improve your results. A mentor helps you to get that loan you didn't dare ask for. A mentor will help you to control yourself when you're feeling up. They'll help you recover when you feel down. And will motivate you when necessary. A mentor will lead you when you need it. And they'll be there until the day you can stand on your own 2 feet. Put a mentor in your life.